We continue with our class Hilchot Teshuvah. Today's class number 32. And we start with so we start with Sefer Chaim. And big topic is the same, loss of tailors. Today's topic, nothing to be gained. In situation when a person has been caused damage, it is forbidden to inform him of the predator's identity, unless there is a reasonable chance that this will serve constructive purpose. The fact that one person observed the improper act does not automatically justify the informing victim. So, okay, so meaning if as we said before, if some another person can get that perpetrator to the Jewish court and extract money, so that's or get some kind of restitution, that's one thing. But if not, so we do not allow to say. If restitution seems unlikely, so he would not be able to get anything, and there is no possibility that the victim will unsuspectedly be vulnerable to further harm, nothing positive will accomplish by telling the victim who was responsible. To reveal the perpetrator identity is to speak the Hilchos. So under these circumstances, because there is no constructive purpose. Okay, so we stop here. Okay, so we continue with Hilchot Teshuvah, and we are on chapter 9 and Halachah number 1. So we did 2/3 of the Halachah, so last third. So let's read without commentaries. So it says, this was implied by the Torah statement, Devarim 28, verses 47 and 48. Because you did not serve God, will you work with happiness. You will serve your enemies whom God sends against you. Thus, this blessing and curses can be interpreted as follows. If you serve God with happiness and observe my way, He will grant you these blessings and remove these curses from you, in order that you may be free to gain wisdom from the Torah and involve yourself in it, so that you will merit the life in the world to come. So, okay, so we're going to explain. It's very important ideas. God will grant you in the world that entirely good. Good will be granted to you in a world that entirely good. And you will live long in a world that's endlessly long, the world to come. Thus, you will merit two worlds, a good life in this world, which in turn will bring you to the life in the world to come. Okay. For if a person will not acquire the wisdom in this world, he does not possess the good deeds. With what will he merit the portion in the world to come? Okay. Thus, Koheles 9:10 states, there is no work, no accounting, no knowledge, no wisdom in the grave. So meaning that everything you have to do here in this life. Conversely, if you have abandoned God and become obsessed with food, drink and lewdness, and the like, He will bring all these curses upon you and remove all blessings until you will conclude your days in confusion and fear. You will not have free heart or a complete body to fulfill the mitzvot in order that you forfeit the life in the world to come. So that's the curse. Thus you will forfeit the two worlds. For when a person is occupied in this world with a sickness, war, and hunger, he cannot involve himself with either wisdom or mitzvahs, which allow him to merit the life in the world to come. Okay, so you understand there are a lot of tons of ideas here. So we're going to go through them one by one. So from the beginning, these commentaries and explanation. This was implied by the Torah statements in Devarim. Because you did not serve God, your Lord, with happiness. you will serve your enemies whom God sent against you. This happiness 24 something. When you were blessed with abundant good, so you had everything, right? More than you need, and guess what? You still did not serve Hashem's happiness. You will serve your enemies. Okay, you don't want to play good, so Hashem sent Chas v'Shalom enemies, right? Whom God sends against you. So it's not because they only because they are wicked they came against you. No, they are wicked, but a person deserves them. And it's not because they're bad, because Hashem sent exactly against that person. While under the enemy's rule, the Jews will have far less of the opportunity to observe the Torah and Mitzvot, right? When they're subjugated by the governments. In Hilchos Lulav 8:15, Rambam interprets these words differently. Stresses the importance to serve God with happiness. Okay. So continue. Thus the blessings and curses can be interpreted as follows. If you serve God with happiness and observe His way, He will grant you these blessings and remove these curses from you in order that you may free to gain wisdom from the Torah and involve yourself in it, so that you will merit the life in the world to come. Right? So as we explained yesterday, similar idea. So a person says, Hashem, everything I want is just to serve you. So, but I have to work, I have to do this, I have this sickness, this problem, that problem. So Hashem said, oh, that's what's stopping you? Okay, I'm going to remove them. Right? So you can serve me properly. 26. Commented, as explained above, the person's service of the Torah and Mitzvahs can cause God to grant him blessing, which will facilitate his observance in the future. Right? So he wants to give tzedakah, truly and really. So Hashem would send the parnasa, but he has to. We have to do our step first. We do step first. We dedicate ourselves to Torah learning and doing mitzvahs, and Hashem is going to reciprocate. Don't worry. He already promised. Continue. Good will be granted to you in this world, that entirely good, and you will live long. The world which is endlessly long, the world to come. Right. So all of the merits, all of the rewards are going to be in the world to come. Okay, this is chapter 8, Halachah 1. So it's a previous chapter. Okay. So we discussed the world to come, all the pleasures. Continue. For if a person will not acquire wisdom in this world, and he does not possess good deeds, with what will he merit the portion of the world to come? So if a person does not learn Torah, right? So as some clowns, and many clowns, so all of the clowns say, he's a simple Jew. So, and our sages said many years ago, hundreds of years ago, it's not so simple to be a simple Jew. So to be a simple Jew, you have to absorb everything that it says in Shulchan Aruch, right? To be a simple Jew. So if person does not learn Torah, does not do mitzvah, so he has zero chance to acquire the world to come. Even if he is trying to do good deeds, they are still not good, because why? It's according to his understanding, very good. But according to Hashem understanding, maybe it's opposite to the good. And commentaries say, as mentioned above, our portion in the world to come is dependent on our deeds. So whatever we do, our learning, our deeds, of course, the deeds comes from learning. That's the purpose of the learning, to perform whatever we can, and whatever we cannot, we just learn. For example, the laws of the temple, of the sacrifice. Okay, we cannot do the sacrifices, but we can learn. And Hashem said clearly, He's going to count as if we brought the sacrifices. Thus, in Koheles 9:10 states, there is no work, no accounting, no knowledge, and no wisdom in the grave. So people they say, okay, when I'm going to retire, I'm going to learn Torah, I'm going to do mitzvahs and stuff like that. Now I have to work on Shabbos and all of the nonsense that we hear every day, right? So who said that you're going to live that long according to your calculations, right? And after the person died, there is no counting, no knowledge, no wisdom in the grave. That's it, too late. That's why we have to use every opportunity while we're still here in this world. Commentary. Koheles Rabbah emphasizes that the awareness of this concept should motivate a person to more inspired service of the Torah and Mitzvot in this world. So one more time, Koheles Rabbah emphasizes that the awareness of this concept should motivate a person to a more inspired service of the Torah and Mitzvot in this world. Okay. Meaning, if the person knows the reward, that he is not working for free, so he is going to work a little better. So reward, everybody understands reward. So if somebody tell you, okay, I have a job for you, you're going to clean bathrooms, and you say, me clean bathrooms? What, are you crazy? You go clean bathroom. And say, no, but we're going to pay $1,000 an hour. Or suddenly you say, okay, how many bathrooms? Maybe I'll take overtime. I don't mind to work overtime. You understand? Well, okay, 10,000. Whatever, okay, crazy number. So everything has their own price. But many people think that they do all of the service of HaShem for free, and they don't do anything. Right? That's a problem. Though a person will derive greater satisfaction in the world to come, there is advantage of service to God in this world. So in this world is also not for free. Because why? HaShem is promised us that He is going to remove all of these sufferings, or many sufferings. Right? So in this world, the world to come represents the pleasure human being will experience. However, our service of the Torah and Mitzvot in this world creates a pleasure for God. However, pleasure for God, as our sages declare, it is pleasure for me to have commanded and have my will fulfilled. So whatever it means, pleasure that HaShem derives from these things. It's not like it's going to change if we're going to do it or not going to do it, but in the human terms, so we can understand. I mean that pleasure that HaShem derives, meaning that He wants us to do good, right, and He wants to give us reward. That's it. So if we follow whatever He said, so I mean He has a chance to give us reward. Otherwise, it was complete waste for people to come here in this world, in this life. Therefore, Amos 4:17 states, 1 hour of Teshuvah and good deeds in this world surpasses the entire life in the world to come. So don't take it literally, but okay. So I mean, it says in a sense that in 1 hour here, right, in this world, you can achieve more than life in a world to come. Why? Because there is almost no reward. I mean, it's much deeper. It's much deeper than that, because there is a reward there, and people, whatever legacy they left here, they're going to get reward. There, every Rosh Hashanah, 3 books are open, and living in the dead, and the dead also they're being judged. So a person left a son here who is no good, and he cheats people, and he goes with married women. So the father is going to get his punishment every year. He's going to get additional punishment because he raised a son like that. He didn't want He didn't want to send his son to yeshiva. Okay. Sorry. Continue. Conversely, if you have abandoned God and become obsessed with food, drink, lewdness, and the like, He will bring all these curses upon you and remove all blessing until you will conclude all your days in confusion and fear. So when a person has all of these curses, he cannot concentrate. So people cannot concentrate on learning, like after when they have all of these money issues, health issues, this issue, that issues, family issues. I mean, who can concentrate? And it is a curse of itself. Right? Why? Because he chose to go against HaShem, and now it's only consequence. It's not punishment. Punishment is going to be, as we learn in chapter 7, right, in Gehenna. Here it's only consequences. Commentary: the desire for physical pleasure is a major force leading one away from the Torah and Mitzvot. Okay, that's it. Okay, you will not. So, but I think if person is raised correctly, right, by the righteous parents, and they gave them the value, they explained and taught them the values of what is important, what is not important. So it's a very small chance it is possible, but much less chance when these parents were secular and did whatever they want to do with their children, and say you can live like animals, basically. You will not have free heart or complete body to fulfill the mitzvahs in order that you perfect the life in the world to come. As we said before, if you don't learn Torah, you don't do mitzvah, you have zero chance to get the world to come. And because person was acting like that, so HaShem confused him. HaShem sent him all of these problems, and now even if he wants, he cannot. Right? He cannot fulfill Torah and mitzvahs, and now he's going to lose forfeit his life in the world to come. I'm very, very fortunate. But of course, as Rambam said many times in commentary, also remind us the doors for Teshuvah is never closed. I mean, sometimes they're closed, but they're not closed. It's like Hashem put some obstacles, or he would not help, but obstacles, it's already next level. But it's possible if person decided to do Teshuvah, he would be able to do this. As I was doing the subtitles today, we were doing subtitles for a clip Abu Lafia. If you search on Rabbi Reuven Shlita's channel, Abu Lafia, very interesting story about the big Rasha who was able to push himself to amazing heights. Okay. Continue. And he's going to forfeit the life in the world to come. Commentary: one sin leads to another. Because a person sin, God will bring about circumstances which make him more difficult for the person to avoid the sin in the future. So he would get so used to sinning. So one sin is going to come after another, and they would be very readily accessible. So to get out of this situation is not easy, to say the least. Thus you will forfeit two worlds, for when a person occupied in this world with a sickness, war, and hunger, he cannot involve himself with either wisdom or mitzvahs. I mean, you just thinking about surviving, right? Mitzvahs which allow him to manage the life in the world to come. So it simply does not have a chance on one hand. On another hand, if he does not have a ticket, so he cannot board the plane, right? So same is here. Okay, it was not the circumstance. On one hand, you can say it was not dependent on you, but in many cases we are ourselves who brought these circumstances upon our head, unfortunately. 33. Similarly, Hilchos Deos 1:4:1 states, maintain a healthy and complete body as among the ways of God. Okay, for it is impossible to comprehend or grasp any aspect of the knowledge of God while one is sick. Okay, so that's Rambam said. So try to keep, of course, not everything depends on us, but we can do many things to keep our body healthy as much as possible, of course. Okay, so let's continue. So we start next. Any questions on what we said? This halachah is also very long. Okay, so we start. Halachah number 2, and it says, from this reasons, all Israel is in particular their prophets and their sages, have yearned for the Messianic age, so they can rest from oppression of Gentile kingdoms who do not allow them to occupy themselves with the Torah and Mitzvot properly. They will find rest and increase their knowledge in order to merit the world to come. Okay. So, in that era, knowledge and wisdom and truth will become abandoned. As the Yeshayahu 11:9 states, the earth will be filled with knowledge of God. Right? So Yirmiyahu 31:33 states, one man will no longer teach his brother, nor man his colleague, for all will know me. I mean, the knowledge will be abandoned. And Ezekiel 36:26 states, I will take away the heart of stone from your flesh and give you the heart of flesh. These changes will come about because the king, who will arise from Davidic descendants, will be greater master of knowledge than Shlomo, and a great prophet close to the level of Moshe. Not on that level, but close to the level of Moshe, our teacher. Moshe, our teacher. Therefore, he will teach the entire nation and instruct them in the path of God. All the Gentile nations will come and hear him, as Yeshayahu 2:2 states, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of God's house shall be established at the peak of the mountains, and all the nation will flow to it. Nevertheless, the ultimate of all rewards is the final good, which will have no end or decrease, is the life on the world to come. So Rambam here, I mean, maybe we're going to explain, but Rambam here says that the ultimate good is a life in the world to come, meaning Gan Eden, not Messianic time. In a contrast, the Messianic age will be life within the context of this world. So it will be here. With the world following its natural pattern, except the sovereignty, will return to Israel. The sages of the previous generations have already declared there is no difference between the present age and the Messianic age, except emancipation from the subjugation on Gentile kingdoms. Of course, as you understand, there is tons of commentary. We're not going to finish today, but we're going to start at least. Okay, so let's start. So from the beginning, this commentary. For this reason, all Israel, in particular their prophets and sages, have yearned for the Messianic age, right? So they can rest from the oppression of the Gentile kingdoms, who do not allow them to occupy themselves with the Torah and Mitzvot properly. So it's not in order to, as they say, to rule the whole, all of this conspiracy theory, right? The Jews are trying to take over the world, the whole world. So we try and so we have this prophecy that we're going to be like on top of the world, meaning what? That they're going to leave us alone. That's all we need. We just want to be left alone so we can learn Torah. Period. Not to govern anybody, not to tell anybody what to do. Just dedicate our lives to learning Torah and serving HaShem. That's it. Commentary. Hilchos 11:1 states, anyone who does not believe in him or does not wait for his coming denies the Torah. So meaning we're talking about Mashiach, right? Person does not believe in Mashiach, so he denies the whole Torah. Rambam emphasizes that belief in Mashiach is not sufficient, right? So just believe. The Jewish faith is not complete unless he anxiously waits for Mashiach to come. In Halachah 12:4 of that section, Rambam explains the motivation for that yearning. So why people have to yearn and anxiously wait for Mashiach to come? Commentary. The sages did not yearn, so it's Halachah, but from a different book. from the book of Halachah of the Kings, right? Jewish kings. The sages did not yearn for Mashiach era in order to have dominion over the entire world. So Rambam is clearly just stopping this all these conspiracy theories, right? To rule over the Gentiles, right? So one more time. The sages did not yearn for the Messianic era in order to have dominion over the entire world, to rule over the Gentiles, to be exalted by the nations, or to eat and drink and celebrate. That's not what we're doing. Rather, they desire to be free, to involve themselves in Torah and wisdom without any pressure and disturbance, so that they would merit the world to come. That's it. That's so it's very interesting how Rambam finishes, right? He says, so why would we? Okay, Mashiach is here. So why do we want to learn Torah and observe Mitzvot? Why is that? In order, one more time, to merit the world to come. Right? Meaning the world to come, meaning after people die. Okay, so let me read the whole sentence because there are more commentaries. So same sentence one more time. From this, for this reason, all Israel, in particular, the prophets and their sages, have yearned for the Messianic age, so they can rest from the oppressions of the Gentile kingdoms who do not allow them to occupy themselves with Torah and Mitzvot. Commentary. The Rambam lived before the Spanish Inquisition, and the massacres perpetrated during the later Crusades. Nevertheless, he had witnessed sufficient persecutions of the Jews by the Christians to include in Hilchos Melachim, passage 11.4, that was removed from the most printed text of Mishnah Torah by the Christian censors. Right? So, and Rambam said there, so that's, can there be a greater stumbling block than Christianity? It has caused the Jews to be slain by the sword, their remnants be scattered and humbled. Similarly, in his treatise of Kiddush HaShem, chapter 1 and 4, and Egeres Te'eman, chapter 1, Rambam speaks of severe persecution of Jews suffered by the Muslims and Christian rulers. So we know about a few things about persecution. Okay, so that's we want them just to be quiet and leave us alone. They will find rest and increase in their knowledge in order to merit the world to come. So one more time, that's what we even in Messianic time we're not going to do anything different that from what we're doing today. We want to do the will of HaShem, learn Torah and do mitzvahs. Okay, the Rambam views Messianic age as opportunity for a man to serve God fully, fulfilling all the mitzvahs, and acquiring a great knowledge of God. As explained in previous halachah, good deeds and knowledge of God are the factors that enable a person to merit place in the world to come. That's it. Very straightforward. So some people would live through just for us to understand, and even for people that are going to get resurrected. So the way I understand, like what implied here, they can live through the Messianic age and acquire even more merit, even more pleasure. In that era, the knowledge, wisdom, and truth will be abandoned. Okay, so as we said before, if there is no pressure, and all of the wicked people are going to be perished, and only the only ones that left would be left only the righteous people, or the ones that decided at the last moment to be righteous, right? So it would be easy when you're surrounded by the righteous people to act righteously. So Yeshayahu 11:9 states, the earth will be full of knowledge of God. Yirmiyahu 31:33 states, one man will no longer teach his brother, nor a man his colleague, for all will know me. Right, so 48, commentary. The previous verse states, I will put my Torah in their inner part and write in their inner hearts. Torah will become the natural instinct of the Jewish people. It must be noted that the published text of Mishnah Torah reverses the order of the verse. Okay. The text in Yirmiyahu actually states, one man will no longer teach his colleague, nor a man his brother. Sizor, volume 3, page 23a, quotes the verse in the same manner as Rambam. Okay, for whatever reason, they had a reason to quote it this way. Okay, so meaning that everybody would be on such a great level. Okay, so they would not need the teachers probably to start from the beginning. I'm not sure how it's possible, but that's good, very interesting. And Hilchot 26 states, I will take away the heart of stone from your flesh and give you the heart of flesh. Right. 49. At present, there is often a gap between the intellectual comprehension of spiritual concept and emotional sensitivity to them. So they say, what is the, one second, what's going on? Oh. Why is that? Okay. Somehow my phone was not charging. Okay. Please start charging. Okay. Okay, 1 second. So they said, I will take away the heart of stone from your flesh and give you the heart of flesh. So they say the longest distance possible, it's what? It's only a few inches, right? Well, what is it? From the person's heart to his intellect. Right? So meaning with intellect, we understand that that's what we need to do, but to convince heart, which is a seat of Eitzachara, is not so simple. Okay. So 39 commentary. At present, there is often gap between our intellectual comprehension and of the spiritual concept and emotional sensitivity to them. Like how we, okay, you understand this is right. So what is the next step? Are you going to do it or not? Though we may understand the concept abstractly, we often lack the feeling for the idea. Okay, so people treat it as a science. It remains cold it remains a cold intellectual truth rather than becoming a dynamic life force with our lives. Life force with our lives. Okay. Within our lives. Okay, so it is there, but this word, this idea never materialized. Some people learn for many years and they stay the same rotten individuals, and they know exactly zero and absorb exactly zero. And every time they got to some critical points every year. So I know these people. Like every time the guy is excited, like he's surprised. So what a very interesting idea. What a beautiful idea. Okay, we've read it maybe 15 times by now, but Yitzhak does not allow him or whatever to absorb it, to make it part of himself. Unfortunately, very, very fortunate. In the Messianic age, God will remove the heart of stone and creates a gap between thoughts and feelings, meaning that it would be easier for a person to comprehend and start live by this. Okay. So it was 39. Continue. These changes will come about because the king who will arise from Davidic descendants. So commentary. Then Mashiach must be descendant of David, as Hilchos Melachim 11:1 declares. In the future, Messianic king will arise and renew the Davidic dynasty. So Hilchos Melachim 11:4. Okay, so he must be from the seed of David. So, okay, from the beginning. These changes will come about because of the king who will arise from Davidic descendants, will be greater master of the knowledge than Shlomo and the great prophet. close to the level of Moshe Rabbeinu. Commentary. So as the Torah can testify, there is no, it's never going to be a prophet higher than Moshe Rabbeinu. So this Mashiach, right, is going to be close, but not the same. 41 commentary. Hilchos Yesodei Torah, chapter 9, distinguishes between Moshe's prophecies and those of the other prophets, explaining that none of the other prophets can be compared to Moshe. Very simple. Igeret Teiman, chapter 4, Rambam writes that the messianic prophetic visions will exceed that of the other prophets, with the exception of Moshe. So other prophets, yes, but Moshe no. The Maharatz Hiyot objects to this concept, explains the Mashiach will reveal great spiritual concept, and in the age of resurrection, Moshe will come to hear his explanation of the Torah. I mean, I'm not sure how it contradicts anything. Big rabbis can go to the lower level rabbis shiurim and listen. I mean, just because he hears like one or two things new does not make him greater or lower than the speaker. I'm not sure why they say it is might be a contradiction. I'm not sure. Therefore, he will teach the entire nation and instruct them to the path of God. Right? I mean, we're talking about Mashiach commentary. Zohar, volume 1, page 118a, relates that in that era, even little children will know the mystic secrets of creation. Right? That's the topic, just so you understand, the topic that we skip. So as Rashi said, and actually Talmud said, that don't go too deep into creation. First of all, there is not enough information, but you're basically going to go crazy. Okay, you would not be able to comprehend. Anyway, continue. All the nations, all of the Gentile nations will come to hear from him, as Yeshayahu 2:2 states, and it shall come to pass in the last day of the mountain of God's house shall be established at the peak of the mountains, and all the nations will flow to it. Commentary. So all the nations are going to come. 43. Commentary. In Hilchos Melachim 12:1, Melachim. The Rambam writes that the Gentiles will all return to the true faith. So meaning now all of the Gentile is not in true faith. They saw in Avodah Zarah or other nonsenses. But in the end of the day, they, the righteous one, of course, are going to return to the true faith. Generally, this term refers to Judaism, right? See Hilchos Chagiga 3 and Halachas 1 and 6. Both Rashi in Avodah Zarah 24a and Rabbeinu Nisim Drashos state that in the Messianic age, the Gentiles will all convert to Judaism. Very interesting. Nevertheless, the Rambam's phraseology in these letters, Halachos of Hilchos Melachim, does not imply that Gentiles will convert. Okay. So Rashi said yes, Rambam said no. On the contrary, Halachah 5 differentiates between the entire world and Israel. And then indicated that even in Messianic age, differences will exist between Jews and Gentiles. Accordingly, that statement that, and similarly the phrase quoted above, must be interpreted to mean the Gentiles will be accept the 7 universal commandments of Noah and his sons. See chapter 9 in Hilchos, chapter 9 and 10 in Hilchos Melachim. So meaning about 7 Noahide laws. So it's very interesting. So Rashi said that everybody is going to convert to Judaism, but Rambam and others say no, they're not going to convert to Judaism, but they would convert to true faith for them, right? Which is what? Is to be a Noahide, righteous Noahide. Okay, continue. The above has a quality which is applicable to our own behavior. Jewish thought relates that God rewards our behavior measure for measure. Right? Measure for measure. Since the Messianic age will involve the refinement of Gentile nations, it follows that it is a preparatory step to hasten the advent of that era. We must work to refine the Gentile nations by influence them to accept 7 Noahide laws. I'm not sure where he got it from, but okay. And if they're not going to kill you, that's good. Okay. So it was 43. Continue. Nevertheless, the ultimate of all rewards and the final good, which will have no end or decrease, is the life of the world to come. So Rambam states again, okay, nevertheless, all of this beautiful life, beautiful this, beautiful that. So, but I'm going to read again, and we're going to see commentaries. Nevertheless, the ultimate of all reward and the final good, which will have no end or decrease, is the life in the world to come. 44 commentary. In a contrast, all life within this world, with era of the resurrection of the death, will have certain limits. See Igeres Tehiyah Chamesim, chapter 4. The Shar Hagamul, the Rambam disagrees with Ramban disagrees with the later concept, explains that after resurrection there will be no further death. Okay, I'm not sure what does it mean, but if we say that the world would continue only for 1,000 years, so what happened? I'm not sure. Okay. So Rambam said, in life in the world to come, 45 commentary. In the Shar Hagamul, the Ramban takes issue with Rambam, explaining that the ultimate reward will be the resurrection of the dead. So here we go. As he intimates, the debate between these two positions resolved the major disagreements between the Jewish philosophers and mystics. The philosophers conceive the spiritual awareness and material reality as two contradictory forces. Okay, so just to remind us, Ramban was a very big Kabbalist. Okay, so one more time. This disagreement is between Jewish philosophers and mystics. So mystics, Kabbalists. The philosophers conceive the spiritual awareness and the material reality as two contradictory forces, meaning spiritual awareness and physical reality, two contradictory forces. Okay, let's continue to explain. Consequently, the ultimate state of human fulfillment, the world to come, must represent the total transcendence of the material reality and a complete unity with the spiritual truth. One more time. Consequently, the ultimate state of human fulfillment, so the highest level, the world to come, meaning after the person dies, must represent the total transcendence. So, must represent what? That physical stays here and only spiritual goes up there. Okay. Total transcendence of the material reality and complete unity with the spiritual truth. Okay, so the Kabbalists conceive of God as transcending equally the spiritual and material. Okay, just as he. So now we're talking about HaShem. Just as he cannot be confined by the limitation of our material world, his infinity also extends beyond the bounds of spiritual existence. Even in spiritual existence, as we have say in the world, the heavens, one heaven after another. It's that big, this big. So, but anyway, there is some confinements. But here, with HaShem, there is no even spiritual limits. He also has the potential to reveal himself within the context of material existence. So, if HaShem in material existence, in a Mishkan, Beis Hamikdash, right? Indeed, the more transcends levels of godliness can be revealed more completely in our physical world than the higher spiritual realms. Okay, so I mean, so since it is very different, the spiritual concept in this world than in the spiritual world, so it's much more manifested. Okay, the latter revelation will come about at the age of resurrection. Thus, that era represents the man's ultimate fulfillment and his full reward in observance of Torah and Mitzvot. Okay. Okay, so no comments. Continue. In a contrast, the Messianic age will be life within the context of this world. So meaning nobody is going anywhere. So as we learned before, the HaShem is going to reveal Gan Eden. So original Gan Eden when Adam was created and Chava, so it's going to be revealed, and everybody would move to this Gan Eden. So I guess not so many people would be left in the world, so it would be enough. But HaShem goes to extend. That's my guess. Context in this world. With the world following the natural pattern, except the sovereignty will return to Israel. So sovereignty meaning one more time they're going to live alone. So commentary. The Rambam reiterates these statements with a great emphasis in Hilchos Melachim. So about the kings, right? One should not presume that the Messianic king must work miracles and wonders, bring about new creations within this world, resurrect the dead, and perform other similar deeds. This is definitely not true. I'm not sure what he's saying. That he said that he is going to resurrect the dead. One more time. One should not presume that Messianic king must work miracles and wonders, bring about new creations within the world, resurrect the dead, or perform other similar deeds. This is definitely not true. Chapter 11, Halachah 3. Okay, so we're going to get to it. No, I'm not sure if in this book or Hilchos Melach. I'm not sure. Do not presume that in Messianic age, the nature of the world will change, or that there will be innovations of in the work of creation. So Rambam is saying that everything would be the same. Rather, the world will continue according to its pattern. I mean, HaShem created the perfect world, so no need to change it. Okay. Though in Yeshayahu 11:6 states, the wolf will dwell with the lamb, and leopard lie down with a young goat. These words are the metaphors and parable. Similarly, other messianic prophecies of the nature and metaphors. Chapter 12, Halachah 1. These statements are the subject of the much debate among the commentaries. The Ravat and many other commentaries maintain that Mashiach's coming will initiate a miraculous era, in which the entire nature of the world will change. As Rambam mentioned, many of messianic prophecies appear to imply such phenomenon. So how is going to be, as Rambam is going to say at the end of, I'm not sure if he's going to say here or not. So Rambam said, he said, I know there is different opinions, and that's my opinion based on my learning. And how it's going to be, we're going to see, right? So it's according to our behavior, basically. The Vadat Chachavim, the Vadat HaKodesh attempts to resolve these two opinions, explaining that though the world will follow the rules of nature, the nature of the world will return to the state before Adam and the tree of knowledge. So that's, I think that's a brilliant resolution. Is it true or not? I don't know, but that's good. That sin affected the totality of creation. Hence, many of the messianic prophecies will reward as a miracle, which we regard as miracle, can be considered as a natural phenomenon. So that's beautiful explanation. So animals did not eat animals until much later time. Okay. So according to Avodat HaKodesh, so he said, why? So he said there is no contradiction of not changing the natural order, the order that was once in this world. Okay, next, almost done. The Shlach suggests a different resolution. He explained that there will be two periods of Messianic age, very interesting. One in which the natural order of the world will not change, and the second period which will marked by miracles. Interesting. The Rambam inclusion of the resurrection of the dead is one of the 13th principles of faith, appears to support this opinion. Okay. There is no, I mean, that's for sure. It's not natural. It's a great miracle, resurrection of the dead. There is no greater miracle than departure from the natural order than death, right? Meaning the resurrection of the dead. So you cannot say completely that it's going to be as right now. In Agelet Tichiyat HaMeisim, chapter 6, the Rambam writes that these statements in the Mishnah Torah do not represent the definite and final decision on the question. The Messianic era may, in fact, here we go, represents a deviation from the natural order. He intended his explanation to explain Messianic prophecies without challenging the rule of logic of nature, which govern our existence. So Rambam did not want to give us crazy ideas. So simple ideas, simple explanation. Just be prepared. It's going to be as it is right now. Small changes, but if it's going to change, it would be nice. But no means does he precludes the possibility that God will work miracles to transcend that order. Right? Verse 46. Continue. The sages of the previous generations have already declared there is no difference between the present age and Messianic era, except the emancipation from our subjugation to the Gentile kingdoms. Okay. So I guess we can stop here. Let me check. We finished it early, but let's stop. I mean, because we finished the chapter. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. So I have several questions. So is somebody in Olam HaBa already?
In Olam HaBa, all of the righteous dead people in Olam HaBa.
If I understood right, because I mean the difference between Olam HaBa and Gan Eden is it the same?
But between Olam HaBa and what?
And Gan Eden, is it the same?
Yeah, it's the same, exactly the same.
So, is there an how do you say, a counterpart of Gehenom in a positive way? Is does exist?
No, but that's Olam HaBa. It's a counterpart of Gehenom.
Because it's like a little confusion on this, because what would be the paradise, the definition here?
That's a paradise, Gan Eden, and Olam HaBa, all three the same thing.
Oh, all right. So the other question is Hoshea, Joseph and Yeshua ben Nun the same person?
Hoshea. Okay, so he was called Hoshea, and before we're going with this miraglim, with the spies, so HaShem changed his name, and his name became Yehoshua. Yes, it's the same person.
And the other question is about Pinchas. Is the same as the prophet Eliyahu?
Eliyahu, yes, yeah, but it's not. I don't want to say the same. It is a reincarnation, right? It's a reincarnation of Pinchas. Yes. So, but I saw the opinion that I mean, I'm not sure how it's possible that he was transformed. Actually, that Pinchas never died, or whatever. So he lived such a long life. I'm not sure what is a long life. So it's like maybe 500 years between Pinchas and maybe less than 500 years, maybe less than that. Yeah, between Pinchas and Eliyahu HaNavi.
So is this opinion saying that both they were alive at the same time?
No, the two opinions. One opinion is it's reincarnation, the same soul, right? And second opinion, that's actually Pinchas Mamish. It's Pinchas. He just took a different name. And so why they said so? I mean, there are grounds for this explanation. So HaShem said that I'm going to grant you the covenant of peace, and covenant of peace that does not end. So I mean, based on this, so it's peace forever. Peace that is last forever. You understand? So that's how they connect Pinchas, Eliyahu, and Eliyahu, as we know from the Torah, he never died. You understand? So that's forever. That's we need. That's why we need somebody who is half man, half angel, who can purify Mashiach, because Mashiach is going to be a person born here in this world. And of course, he is impure, as all of us. So somebody would have to purify him, and of course, that person must be a Kohen. Pinchas was a Kohen, so Eliyahu was a Kohen. You understand? And he's pure because he cannot get impure because he is not a person; he's an angel.
And the other question is GC part of the course in the Song of Moses at Deuteronomy 32 and chapter 4 also?
Which one? I didn't get.
GC, because it says in Deuteronomy 4:28 that Israel will serve a god of wood. So is GC guide part of the course?
Of course, it's part of the course. Yes. So it says that you're going to serve the gods of wood and stone. So wood is Yoshke, JC, and stone is Muslims, the Mecca. So I think if you're in this part, Rabbi Mizrahi Shlita brought it, and I think it's available on the internet. So if you search for Torah codes and you put this verse, so in that with equal mathematical skip or 50 character for 49 characters, right? So you one way you arrive to Yeshu, Yeshu, right? And going back from the stone, you actually get Mecca. You understand? So there is no coincidence in the Torah. So it's not like our sages explain. Rashi explained on the page. It's not like we're going to serve we would be all idol worshippers, but we would be servants to the people who serve these deities.
I have maybe two more questions.
Go ahead. Yeah, we have time. Go ahead.
So, is the new kingdom of Egypt, which covered from Syria to Eritrea, the kingdom where Moses was?
You're talking about biblical time?
Yes, the story of Israel, because there is already an article on Wikipedia about the kingdom of Egypt that is
Yes.
called the New Kingdom of Egypt, and the dates, the dating, how do you say I don't know how to say the time frame is the same time frame when Moses is told that it was there.
I don't understand the question. So since then they consider to be new Egypt.
Yes, the article called this kingdom the New Kingdom of Egypt, and it covered from Syria to Eritrea. And if we,
I don't think so. They never were so powerful. From Egypt to Eritrea. I mean, Eritrea is in, as I understand, it's Africa. I mean, maybe from Egypt to Syria. I'm not sure.
yes, so this article is based on, it's not based on religion, it's based on archaeology. So it's like these two pieces is fitting together.
What we learned in, I think, what was it, Yehoshua, that they took all of these Egyptians. Sanherib went and he conquered the whole Egypt, and they led all of these Egyptians naked to their country through Israel. You understand? All of these wicked people. I don't know. I mean, don't trust Wikipedia too much, but maybe they confuse the facts. Whatever they say. I don't know.
Okay, so the other question is it possible to be Ben Israel but not a Jew like the Samaritans?
Is it possible to be a Ben Israel, so from the nation of Israel, but not Samaritans?
As the Samaritans, because I think that the Samaritans in Israel, the political state right now, they have Israeli ID and passport, but I think that the rabbinical authorities don't consider them as Jewish. I'm not sure. So that's the question.
No, I mean I think you can. Are you talking about biblical time again?
Oh no, today.
I'm not sure who Samaria. Samaria, Shamron. It's our territory. I mean, it's before. If you look at the map of Israel, so it's on the eastern side, but before the Jordan River. So I mean, it's a Jewish territory. I'm not sure why would the territory means anything. If Jew lives in any country, so he's a Jew. I understand.
I think the rabbinical authority does not consider this group of people as part of the Jewish nation.
Okay, so now, so you're talking about it's actually the biblical time. In the end of, I think it was Sanherib, right? So he was moving the nations around, and one nations, I don't remember exactly the name of the nation. So he moved to the place where the 10 tribes were, Samaria, right? That's what the name.
Yes, this is based on that, because the 10 tribes get lost.
So I'm answering the question. So these people were like pretenders. So I mean, they didn't want to accept the Judaism. I mean, why should they, right? And then the story was that wild animals, they coming out from the forest, from the mountains, and start eat them up, attack them. And I don't remember how, don't remember details, but they realize it's because they live in Jewish territory. God does not want that. So they say, okay, let us convert, and we're going to be Jewish, and these animals are going to leave us alone. And they try to convert, but of course they did not mean to convert. All of these fake converts, right? And they did not accept the oral Torah, only written Torah and whatever they wanted. So one of the prohibition is to marry them because they're not Jewish. I mean, we were forced to accept them, but they're not Jewish. Maybe that's what it means. Yeah.
Yes.
Like fake people, fake converts.
So the 10 lost tribes are not considered Jewish?
They consider Jewish 100%. Why is that?
Because the Samaritans in this group in Israel, they consider themselves part of the
exactly
10 lost tribes.
that's okay. That's what they say. All the pretenders that I'm going to tell the story that happened to me. So I was in a train, in a New York City train. Like it's like, I don't know what it was, like 6:30 in the morning, maybe 6:30. Like everybody like sleeping, mind their own business. Everybody going to. No, it's like 7 o'clock. So not 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning. So and I'm learning, right? I'm standing in the train, learning, and next to me a black guy is sitting, and he said like very loud, "From what tribe you, brother? From what tribe?" I said, well, you normal? Like, do I bother you? I said, I do not know what tribe I am. Okay. So, and he started yelling, how come when you tell this, I know what tribe I'm from? I said, oh, yeah. It's better for me to move away. You understand? And he said, I'm from this tribe and that tribe. So, I mean, there is no argument with people. They're crazy. But they pretend there is don't waste your time on this, but I think I don't remember what they call themselves, black Jews. Here they're like in New York, and they of course they're Christians, and they wear all these costumes like from Kohen Gadol, and they talk very loud, and they make all of the show, and they yell all of the verses from Tanakh, and I mean one would scream, another would like answer. There's like all very theatrical. Of course, I mean they consider the same Jews more than us, but okay, who cares? You understand? But in their mind, they're 100% Jews, and even more than natural-born Jews. You understand? So maybe they're those clowns. So they just because they move, some Christians move to their territory, so they announce themselves as a lost tribes. Okay, are they lost tribes? We don't know. I don't know. How is it possible to know? I don't know.
So that is my question is around that, because maybe the 10 lost tribes are on permanent herem, because I think they in the past biblical times they made some type of revolution against the other Yehuda and Benjamin.
Yes. Okay.
So are they on herem?
No, but it says clearly. So in the end of the time, HaShem through Mashiach is going to bring everybody to the land of Israel. Everybody. So everybody includes these 10 tribes. So of course there are representatives of all 10 tribes. So why I told this guy that I don't know what tribe I am, because we don't know what tribe we are. So the most likely the biggest tribes were from Yehuda, but the smaller tribe were Binyamin. But all the like Kohanim and Levites also live there, right? But also Shimon, parts of the tribes of Shimon were scattered around the Yehuda's territory, and also people who ran from the northern kingdom to the southern kingdom. So we can be from any tribe. You understand? So to say that that somebody knows, I mean, some people know, but most of the people do not know. Maybe Kohanim and Levites, even Kohanim and Levites, whoever said that he's Kohen, how does he know that he's a Kohen? Maybe his father married a divorcee, which is forbidden, right? And his sons are not Kohen, and he's a Moshe Kohen. He has nothing to do with a Kohen, to be a Kohen. Maybe he married not Jew, right? His father, his great grandfather, right? So all of these people, their last name is Kohen, have nothing to do with Judaism. You understand? So only Mashiach would be able to clearly say that many people who are not Jewish, who think they're not Jewish, they're 100% Jews. Right? All the converts that were forced to convert in Spain, right? In Muslim countries, in South America, right? All of those people, right? If it goes by the mother, so she has, I don't know, 10 generations, 20, no, not one, let's say 10 generations before, right? Dora, and that's it. So they have I don't know, they think that they're Mexicans. They're 100%. They look like Mexican. They have zero about them as Jews, right? But they're just 100%. So, but only Mashiach will be fine. Will be able to know, right? You ask your father, your grandmother, great grandma. That's, I mean, how many generations we might know? Maybe 4 generations, tops, 3 generations. That's it. You understand? So only Mashiach can find out who is who. And many people who think they're Jews, they're not Jews, not even close. You understand? Unfortunately. So that would be clarified. Only Mashiach can do that. Go ahead.
Okay, I think that's all. But are they carrying some type of punishment because making that revolution or civil war in that biblical times? This lost 10 tribes.
Of course, it's a punishment. Of course, what you think it's a reward to be lost and be in other countries, and of course it is a punishment. So they were idol worshippers. You understand? And HaShem hates idol worshiping, even though it started this Yerovam ben Nevat. He installed these golden cows, and initially it was so the people do not know. The people think that the cows were actually in the temple. They're not in the temple. They were like monuments before they entered in the temple. It's like the decorations, some sort of, right? As in our temple before in the first temple. I'm not sure about second. In the first temple for sure. Before entering the Kodesh HaKodashim, it was like 2 huge columns, huge, massive columns with all of the decorations, right? So only for decorative purposes only. So that's why, and he had this golden calf. That's how it started. But then later generations forgot, and they start worshiping these calves not as decoration, but actually as a god, unfortunately. So that's how people deteriorate. That's unfortunately common in all generations. Okay.
Good. Thank you very much.
All right. So until tomorrow. Thank you. Good night. Until tomorrow.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.